Hello, guys. Welcome to the tour of the Imperial Valley. I guess I'll be your host, the Imperial Jedi, and just buckle up, sit on back, and enjoy the enjoy the ride, I guess. So this is basically the highway that kind of leads into the city. You see a nice little train bridge right there. I've got a little bit of an observatory kind of over here in the hills. Microwave dish, observatory right here. Launch site for funsies. That's awesome. And just some shopping, some parking lot, so hypothetically you could just come here and watch the space shuttle launch. And I've got this cool little small town kind of junction right here. Got a nice little country kind of feel to it, not too big. Kind of meant for smaller volumes of traffic. So just two-way traffic on these roads right here. And you just kind of take this little curved road down so it's not too steep. Added some trees for some decoration. And if you wanted to, you can make a little pit stop right here, drop off some cargo, pick up some cargo. And this will just take you in and around the farming areas. And you can see traffic, not too bad, kind of backing up a little bit. And with the farms, I did try to add a little bit extra fun stuff in. So I made these little custom, looking field things for a few of them. Not really a few, just for this one. Little hedgerows right here. And some different styles of crops. Some drainage ditches right there. And I did try to make like a little kind of small town to serve the farming community. So it ended up being a little bit higher density than I originally had planned. But it turns out that you need actually quite a bit of farmers to keep the area here from getting too abandoned or shortage of or short on workers. So I did put in a few more houses than I originally anticipated, and then I did allow the density to go a little bit higher. Because what I use, actually see, where's my, oh, right over here. So what I do is I cap the density. This is actually a mod that I downloaded. And just word to the wise, post-update, when they put the tunnels and everything in, not all of the mods are going to work. So if you've got some that are installed, just a heads up for that. Just a little random asterisks. But yeah, the one I've downloaded right here, it kind of caps how high the building levels can get. So what I've done is I've stopped these guys from getting a little bit too tall, because I don't actually want skyscrapers over here. I just want, smaller apartment buildings and whatnot. But my small town's got a railroad station. I've got a ballpark, movie theater, a little church, recycling center. And then you can get to the highway basically right here if you need to, so not too far off. And this ended up being reworked quite a few times, but this ended up being really cool. So when you're getting, oh boy, a fire. When you're leaving, let's say hypothetically, the farming area. Oh, by the way, this is a nice little kind of diamond shape right here for our one-ways. Anyway, so you're leaving the farming area, get on the highway right here. If you need to, break off, do your business over here at the cargo station. If not, keep on going. Two-way traffic, not two-way, sorry. It's a two-lane, one-way road right here. And then this way, what we got is, oh, is that actually one-way road? It should be. I need to double-check that it is. I think it is. Yes, it is. Good. They're only using the one lane, looks like, though. But this was just so I could zone one building here, just so it added a little bit, extra to the area. And then if you need to, roundabout to get back around, because basically, if you're coming out of the cargo station after one of these trains drops you off and you need to get to the farming area, it's just kind of, you take the loop. If you wanted to leave, you've got the option to go out this way, come back up, go through this roundabout, leave this way type of thing if you need to. Otherwise, you can get to the highway here, and then you can enter the Cloverleaf. And if you wanted to, take this up and around, and then if you need to, down and around again. So this kind of is an interchange in itself, and this is just a fun way to get on. And that way you don't have to make the loop all the way down here. Because you can kind of see traffic. It does get a little bit backed up in this area. What I did was I added policies to these intersections to block heavy traffic. And a little bit of it still does get through. But the bulk of these trucks, they used to be leaving all through this way. So after having installed or added those policies, I noticed a huge improvement in the traffic. And then let me go back to the trains and I'll show you the transportation colors. So in a nutshell, I've got quite a few lines kind of serving this area right here. But like I was saying before, you can kind of see these trains right here coming in. They're not connected to the internal lines, though I do have a navy blue internal going down to my other transportation hub. So let me just take this view off. So I'll kind of show you right here. And so yeah, it's about 6 different train stations total. Some of them are custom ones, that's why they look a little bit different. But you can kind of see, no traffic is kind of the goal of this whole crazy interchange. And if I just kind of park here for a second, you'll kind of see no train gets backed up for too long. I mean, at worst, these guys here have to stop for a second or two, right? But not too bad. Especially the internal lines. But basically, you have the option to come in, make your way into this second line right here. That'll break off, and that'll serve, you can kind of see over here, to the farming. Otherwise, the cargo, kind of see it follows along here, and again, staying separate from the passenger train station right there. The cargo goes in. It's the cargo junction right here, so it has the option to go left or right. Station right there, and that just makes the loop. You can kind of see where those tracks are, over to another cargo station just right here, and that just again just completes the loop. And so basically, any goods that are produced in the factories right here, they can be shipped over to another part of the city, and then they could be trucked down, sold in the city, or they could just be brought directly out of the city. So it's pretty cool. Adds a little bit of realism, I think. And the better you have the rail network, theoretically, the less trucks you're going to have having to haul those goods out. So it does kind of help the traffic. But you do kind of create traffic when you bring goods in with a train. So it's kind of a give and take scenario. Anyway, this is a crazy junction. So this was a custom-made spaghetti junction. And it was in the workshop. And it didn't really have all these arms connected, so you kind of had to work it into your pre-existing highways. So what I ended up having to do is just kind of curve this a little bit, but I think it turned out pretty well. And so this basically just kind of brings you down here, and if you need to, do the exchange, and this is just how to get to the downtown part of the island. And so obviously you can see Toronto was a pretty big influence for my city. But I also kind of, stared at Manhattan for a little bit, just for some ideas. And so what I kind of pulled from that was just a little bit more of a grid-like pattern. So some of the streets are a little bit long and exaggerated, so they're kind of, I mean, not a full grid, because you can kind of say they don't go in a full straight line. But the goal of them was to kind of reduce bottlenecks. But whenever possible, I wanted to bring people back to the highways, and I want people to use the highways to kind of get around town. But you can kind of see this just brings you into, so if you lived or worked around here, just brings you into this area. And then these are just one-way streets kind of moving around, so. And I've got, you can kind of see the internal passenger train, a little bit of a complicated web. So it kind of, there's like a loop for that right around here. You can kind of see one. And then there's another one that goes like that, more or less. And then this breaks off, goes over to here. And you can see that makes its way down, eventually goes to the airport, and then that just makes its way back to the transportation hub that's up there. And over here, I've just got, I think this is a convention center, or expo center or something. Yeah, expo center, yeah. So I mean, in my mind, if you're going to the airport, this, should be close by type thing. And then what I've done is just kept the density a little bit lower near the airport, so you don't have to worry about buildings being in the way of the planes taking off and landing. But I let a few in just for looky look's sake. A little bit of power over here. I tried to use a lot of solar power. I don't really actually have anything else but that. It's only green energy, so I got the wind turbines, solar, and I guess you can say the incinerators are also making a little bit of power, and my wave generators and stuff. But there's no like oil or coal burning. No fossil fuels, basically. That was kind of the goal of the city. Like, the only area that's really polluted is just this spot right here. And then, unfortunately, the water coming out. But If you want to, you can download mods where they have like the non-polluting versions of these, where the water actually goes into the ground instead of into the harbor. Anyway, just going back to the skyline, you can kind of see, like I said, Toronto, a little bit of an influence right there, so it does have that Toronto kind of feel, especially with that lakeshore and the elevated highway going through, but definitely my homage to Toronto, though, was the CN Tower, and I put the baseball diamond right next to that. And people were pointing out when I was giving the tour and some sneak peeks, so this building actually looks like the City Hall, and it's actually pretty true, so it wasn't my intention. It's actually modeled after the Wynn Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, but looks kind of cool, so I thought I'd throw it in. In downtown, you can kind of see I've got these two train stations right here, so I'll just put this view back up. So you can kind of see if I pan out, all the orange things, those are my train stations. The green guys, those are all subway stations. Yellow is the harbor. You can kind of see all the train lines, how they work through here. Purple just makes its way over to the airport, and then so on, keeps on going down. And then the red guy takes over, and then you kind of see what I've done is a lot of overlap, and also attached to the train station here are a whole bunch of bus lines. Just so you can kind of see what this looks like. And what I've done with the buses is I've kept the black ones as kind of the inner city buses, and the blue ones here, those are express buses, so very few actual stops. They just kind of move very quickly to the destination. And then this red one, I just did for fun. I just made like a few red lines just over here. Just kind of serves my... Like these initially had started out as little suburbs, but as the city kind of grew, they kind of got absorbed. And they went up in density too. But I kind of like the look of them. They still kind of have a little bit of that small town feel, but especially with these skyscrapers, they look nice and modern. But if you zoom in pretty close, you know, it still feels kind of small towny, especially this old high school right here. All right, what else do I gotta show you? So yeah, if I can just go back over to here. So with my transportation lines, you can kind of see what I wanted to do was make sure that every... This is also a custom train station. But I wanted to make sure that every line had at least one or two trains kind of coming in. That way, if you just wanted to park and watch it, you can kind of see how that would look. And I didn't want the water's edge to be very tall buildings, so that the view would be kind of preserved. I think it looks kind of nice just peering into the city. Yeah, these trains more or less will just kind of make their way either back to the transportation hub, or they'll kind of work their way into one of the loops through the city. You can kind of see there's just so many of them. So it's basically like, if I could go again for the overhead, there's one giant loop you can kind of see that goes this way like this for the trains right here. That's one right there, and that connects to the other one that goes like this and this, which connects to that one that makes the giant loop right here. And you can see this is like the main corridor for all the train traffic. But if you separate the lines and you kind of make sure you don't have too much overlap, you really don't run into too much train traffic, which is pretty convenient. Because for a city of 120,000, there's not really that much traffic in the grand scheme of it all, either on the roads or on the rails. You can even see right here this junction in like full capacity right here is still moving pretty fast. This guy, I will say, is the only one that does get backed up, simply because he has to share with the cargo trains and that exterior train line. But really, I mean, it's not too bad of a backup, because he does eventually break off anyway, so kind of he's got priority right here, which is nice. Yeah, I did, for the majority of the city, a forestry industry instead of actually doing regular industry. So there's a few pockets of where the ground is different, where the regular industry is. There's a small one there, a small one here, just a little one right here. But down here, forestry. Over here, forestry. Over here as well, forestry. This whole section is forestry. As you can see, I'm a little bit of a tree nut, and they added a nice little color contrast as well to the trees. And they don't pollute, and then, you get the benefits of industry, so definitely it's good stuff right there. I like to have a little bit of diversity in my city in terms of workforce and stuff. So I've got a few cool university campuses as well, so let me show you this one here. This one is a little more of a modern one. Um, oh, actually, that's not even the one I wanted to show you. I've got 3 then. What I wanted to show you was this one over here. Goodness gracious me. Oh yeah, so this one here, that's what I'm trying to say. This one a little bit more modern. So there's the university itself. I've got the pathway that kind of goes behind it. This is a library right here, kind of sunken in, and an undergraduate library. This was a custom asset. Got our tennis courts. We've got a, again, this is a custom asset, Rochelle's Park. Looks kind of nice. And then I've got a little amphitheater right here. So it'd be like outdoor class or whatever, hypothetically. And there's some shopping and some, some living close by too, some student dorms, hypothetically. And then I've got this cool old university campus. Same idea, nice kind of public courtyard. It's a grand tourist park. I'm not sure if this was an asset or not, but these guys are definitely custom ones. So this one is actually a high school, and it has a match old university. These guys are kind of nice next to each other. And then I downloaded actually these parking lots, extraordinarily handy because they do function. So it's DP's 4x4 parking lot. He's got a few different sizes of them, and yeah, they add a nice little bit of extra to the city. Got our football field, soccer field, parking, just some shops. Again, you can kind of live over here. I downloaded a whole bunch of these churches because I thought they looked kind of nice. I've got a few different styles of churches. These ones act as tourist ones, and then I'll kind of show you how number 1 is really quickly. There are these guys here, and these ones they act as schools, but very small ones. But it's just nice to have a little bit of a, I don't want to say like different feel, but they add a nice little extra to the city. I don't know how to explain that, A little bit more building diversity, I guess, right? And then as you can see, highways that kind of, make their way the whole way through town. Like when I was originally planning the city, I had first started with the way I wanted the highways to go, and I had kind of pictured the way the 6-lane road might kind of hug the lakeshore the whole way down. And then I had the idea of doing maybe a few kind of grid streets, more or less the whole way up, but I didn't want it to be a grid city the whole way through. So what I ended up doing was putting in a few roundabouts, and whenever possible, I would try to add some gentle curves, and then I would try to build the smaller streets in and kind of, add some curves to them as well. And then whenever possible, I would just kind of make a little bit of symmetry, so it's straight but not straight, if that makes any sense, Because yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with a grid city, but I just personally find them to be a little bit too boring if they're all just like a perfect uniform grid. And at the same time too, if you're trying to chase that perfect symmetry, it kind of is frustrating if like 98% of your city is like perfectly symmetrical, but there's like one little spot that you just couldn't get the way you wanted it to. That'll just like, forever haunt your dreams. So like that, I want to avoid that too, right? So, and then I think in real life, there's not really too many cities that are just perfectly well made, so every city's got a little bit of a unique kind of, I wouldn't say messiness to it, but it's got that human kind of aspect. But yeah, for the most part, you can kind of see my city is just chock full of custom assets. The best ones I downloaded, it gives you all these really tall towers. It's one guy who's making them. I don't remember his name off the top of my head, but they're growable towers, and they basically just will replace the ones that are in the game already. And they're, as you can see, they're like much taller than just the regular ones. And so they spawn at random, but you can kind of see the height difference, right? Just like immense. So it adds a nice little bit of extra. And again, there's offices, there's commercial, and there's residential towers. So they're kind of like condos and whatnot. But yeah, I guess that's basically it, guys. Last thing I will show you before I go is I did make this fun little kind of, I would say like beach resort style thing. But just out of town, if you wanted to take like a, a little trip outside the city, we've got these two, you can see highways right here, kind of looping their way over the mountain. And these will take you to a little weekend getaway right here. A few hotels, nice little scenic overlook. Go-karts, amusement park, got some parking lots, a little boardwalk right here, some beaches. A little scenic outlook right here, this thing. So yeah, if you wanted to, just to kind of take the weekend off, get out of the big city, Got that option right here, which is nice. Not too far away from home. So I guess that's it. I guess I will leave you with that, guys. Thank you all for the support and the warm comments. And if you guys are new to the team, definitely comment. Like, come join in, have some fun, and check out the Let's Play series. We're having a lot of fun with that, and I'm taking a lot of feedback from the from you guys in order to, like, make the city better and stuff. So totally, if you have a suggestion, definitely make it. Like, I love to hear the feedback, and I love other people's perspectives on how to tackle problems and stuff too. So I look forward to hearing some more comments, guys. Anyway, on that note, I guess I will leave you there, and thanks again. And have yourselves a great day. Oh, and by the way, what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload this city. So if you guys want to tinker around and take a little bit more of a closer view for yourself, I'm going to have it in the link description. Not the link description, sorry, in the description comments just a little bit below. And if you guys have any problems trying to find some of these assets, or even any questions about which ones I used, or just related questions in general, definitely leave a comment, and I'll try and get back to you. And if you did like the video, hit the like button, because it definitely helps out more than you might think. And I guess that's it. All right, guys, thanks again. Have yourselves a great day.